Hello students, I am Mrs. Asha Bansal, a science educator with over 40 years of teaching experience and a former CBSE evaluator. Today we are going to do something very special. We will go through the most repeated, most important questions from each chapter of your class 10. Science syllabus questions that have appeared in board exams year after year. Consider this your ultimate exam blueprint. So, have your notebook ready and build your confidence one question at a time. We begin with chapter 1, Chemical Reactions and Equations, the language of chemistry. What type of reaction this is? One reactant breaks into multiple products. That is decomposition reaction. Remember, many thermal decompositions give a metal oxide and gases. Let us begin. Let's take the first example. Lead nitrate on heating, it gives out brown fumes. Balance it carefully. Count the lead atoms on the left, one on right, balanced, one on left. So it is balanced. Nitrogen, 2 on left, 1 on right, not balanced. So put 2 before PbO. No, that would unbalance the lead. We balance oxygen last. After balancing, we get 2 PbNO3. It gives 2 PbO plus 4 NO2 plus O2. The zinc reaction is displacement, where a more reactive metal zinc displaces hydrogen from acid. The silver nitrate reaction is double displacement reaction where ion exchange occurs forming insoluble silver chloride, which is a white precipitate. You must be able to convert the description to equations. Burning means reaction with oxygen. Heating often indicates decomposition. Reaction in solution suggests displacement if a metal is involved. Note the observations. Magnesium burns with dazzling white light. Ferrous sulfate color changes from green to brown. In case of iron nail, it gets a brown coating of copper. Let's clarify each type of reaction. First is combination, when 2 or more substances combine together to form a single component. CaO plus H2O, it forms CaOH whole twice. Quicklime with water gives slake lime, releasing heat. Second type of reaction is decomposition. One breaks into 2 or more components. 2H2O, it gives 2H2 plus O2, that is electrolysis of water. Third type is displacement. More reactive metal replaces the less reactive. Like CuSO4 plus Zn, it gives ZnSO4 plus Cu. Double displacement, exchange of ions take place here. Like BaCl2 plus Na2SO4, it gives BaSO4 and 2 NaCl forms. Here a precipitate is formed. Another type of reaction is redox, where oxidation and reduction take place simultaneously. In CuO plus H2, Cu plus H2O, hydrogen is oxidized. Gain of oxygen, copper is reduced, loses oxygen. Hydrogen is reducing agent, CuO is oxidizing it. Corrosion is the gradual destruction of metals by chemical reactions with their environment. Some examples of it: rusting of iron, that is formation of Fe2O3 dot XH2O, where X means the number of water molecules. Tarnishing of silver, that is formation of silver sulfide. Preventions: create a barrier, painting, greasing. Use sacrificial protection, that is galvanizing with zinc, or make alloys like stainless steel. Rancidity is the oxidation of fats and oils in food, causing bad smell and taste. Prevention: add antioxidants, flush out air with nitrogen gas, store it airtight containers, or keep in refrigerator. These are fundamental. Sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid undergo neutralization. An acid and a base react to form salt and water. Zinc and sulfuric acid give hydrogen gas. This hydrogen gas released can be tested with a burning splinter which burns, producing a pop sound. Sodium carbonate with acid gives carbon dioxide which turns lime water milky. pH is a measure of hydrogen ion concentration indicating acidity or basicity. Stomach has HCl at pH 1 to 2 for digestion and killing germs. Tooth decay: bacteria produce acids pH 5.5 that dissolves enamel. It could be prevented by rinsing mouth after eating. Soil health: plants use specific pH. Farmers add lime to acidic soil or organic matter to the basic soil. Animal survival: many aquatic animals survive only in a narrow pH range. Each of these salts is important. Know one method of preparation and at least 2 uses. For plaster of Paris, remember its unique property: on mixing it water, it reforms gypsum and hardness. This is why gypsum is used for setting fractured bones. Distilled water is pure water with very few ions, so it does not conduct electricity. Rainwater, while falling, dissolves carbon dioxide from air, forming weak carbonic acid H2CO3, which dissociates into ions, hydrogen and bicarbonate ions, allowing conduction. Understand this carefully. Strong acids like HCl ionize completely. Weak acids like acetic acid ionize partially. Concentration is about how much solute is dissolved. Acids are proton donors, sour to taste. Bases are proton acceptors and bitter. Sodium is highly reactive with oxygen and water, so sodium is stored under kerosene to prevent contact. Aluminium reacts with oxygen and forms an oxide layer which is stable and adheres tightly, and it protects the metal underneath. Galvanizing coats iron with zinc. Even if scratched, zinc corrodes first, saving the iron. The metal that is liquid at room temperature is mercury, Hg. It is used in thermometers and barometers. If the oxide turns red litmus blue, it is basic. Basic oxides are generally formed by metals, so the element is a metal. Example: sodium oxide Na2O, which with water gives NaOH, a base. High reactivity: potassium, sodium, calcium, aluminium. These cannot be reduced by carbon, so they are extracted by electrolysis of molten chlorides or oxides. Medium reactivity: zinc, iron, lead, reduced by heating their oxides with carbon, coke. Blast furnace for the iron. Low reactivity: silver and gold. They are found in native state, sometimes obtained by heating sulfides in air, roasting. An alloy is a homogeneous mixture of 2 or more metals or a metal with a non-metal. Alloys are preferred because they often have properties superior to pure metals more strength, more resistance to corrosion, lower melting points. Example, stainless steel. It has iron, carbon, chromium and nickel. Brass, copper and zinc. It is stronger than copper. Stainless steel does not rust like iron. This is used to obtain ultra pure copper. The impure copper is made the anode. A thin pure copper sheet is the cathode. Copper sulfate solution is the electrolyte. On passing current, copper ions from the anode dissolve as copper ions. These ions deposit as pure copper on the cathode. Impurities settle down below the anode as anode mud. Isomers are compound with the same molecular formula but different structural arrangements. For example, butane C4H10. We have N-butane, a straight chain of 4 carbon, and isobutane, methyl propane, a chain of 3 carbon with 1 methyl branch. Draw both clearly, showing all carbon-hydrogen bonds. Carbon has 4 valence electrons. It can neither lose 4 electrons, requires too much energy, nor gain 4 electrons. Nucleus cannot hold 10 electrons. So it attains stability by sharing electrons with other atoms, forming covalent bonds. A homologous series is a family of organic compounds where successive members differ by a CH2 unit. Characteristics: same general formula, similar chemical properties, gradation in physical properties like boiling point increases with mass. Some examples: alkane series CH4, C2H6, C3H8 and so on. Test for unsaturation. Bromine water test, which is reddish brown in color, decolorizes when added to an unsaturated compound like ethene. Soaps form scum with hard water, calcium/magnesium salts. Detergents do not. Esterification is the reaction of carboxylic acid with an alcohol in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid to form a sweet-smelling ester. Saponification is the alkaline hydrolysis of fats or oils to make soap. Soap molecules have two ends: hydrophobic, which hates water but loves oil, and hydrophilic, head resin, which loves water. In water, they arrange themselves as micelles, trapping oily dirt in the center. The micelle is washed away with water, cleaning the cloth. Memorize the following. These are the functional groups. OH, it stands for alcohol, example ethanol. CHO is aldehyde, as per example ethanol. COOH is carboxylic acid, as per example ethanoic acid. It could be halogens like chloromethane. Halogen includes 4 members: fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Diagrams are scoring. Practice drawing neat, clean diagrams with a pencil. Label all the parts correctly. Like for the digestive system, ensure you show the liver and pancreas connected to the duodenum. The complete balanced equation is 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of light and chlorophyll forms C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. Raw materials required for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide from air through stomata, water from soil through the roots. Products glucose food, oxygen is the byproduct side, chloroplast which contains the green pigment chlorophyll. In humans, anaerobic respiration occurs in the muscles during heavy exercise when oxygen supply is insufficient, producing lactic acid that causes cramps. In humans, blood goes through the heart twice in one complete cycle. First, the pulmonary circulation, heart to lungs, lung to heart, that is for oxygenation. Second is systemic circulation from heart to the body, then to heart to supply oxygen. This ensures efficient separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood and maintains high blood pressure for rapid delivery. Breathing involves two steps. Inhalation, diaphragm contracts, moves down. Intercostal muscles contract, lifting the ribs. Thoracic volume increases, pressure decreases, so the air enters. Exhalation, muscles relax, diaphragm dooms up, ribs move down, volume decreases, pressure increases, so the air is pushed out. This three-way step process happens in millions of nephrons. The initial filtrate is similar to the blood plasma minus proteins. Reabsorption is selective. All glucose is normally reabsorbed. Urine contains water, urea, salts and other excessive or water substances. How our body responds to external environment is called control and coordination. The neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Dendrites, they receive the signals. The axon conducts the nerve impulse away from the cell body. A reflex action is a rapid, automatic, involuntary response to a stimulus. The pathway taken is the reflex arc. It bypasses the brain for speed involving the spinal cord. Example, knee jerk reflex. Cerebrum is the largest part. It controls voluntary actions, thinking, memory, and reasoning. Cerebellum is at the back of the brain. It coordinates movement, balances, and posture. Medulla connects to spinal cord. It controls the involuntary actions like breathing, heartbeat, and vomiting. Phytohormones are the chemical messengers in plants. Auxins are made at the shoot tip and cause phototropism. Gibberellins can make dwarf plants grow tall. Abscisic acid closes stomata during water stress. Tropic movements are due to differential growth, while nestic movements are due to changes in the turgor pressure. Plants use hormones for coordination. For example, in response to light, that is phototropism, auxin diffuses to the shaded side, causing those cells to elongate more, bending shoot towards the light. It is a slow but coordinated response. Let us explore the ways life continues, that is through reproduction. For the male reproductive system, it has testis, which produces sperms, scrotum, vasa deferens, prostate gland, and penis. For the female reproductive system, ovaries, which produce eggs, fallopian tubes, uterus, and vagina. All should be labeled clearly. The flower is the reproductive part of a plant. Stamen is the male part made up of anther, which produces pollens and filament. Pistil is the female. Ovary contains ovules. Pollination is transfer of pollen from the anther to the stigma. Binary fission, amoeba divides into two equal daughters. Budding, hydra forms bud that detaches. Fragmentation, Spirogyra breaks, each fragment grows. Regeneration, planaria pieces regrow into the whole organism. Vegetative propagation, new plants from stem like in potato, leaves like in bryophyllum. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. Self-pollination means the pollen grains are transferred to the stigma of either the same flower or to some other flower but of the same plant. Cross-pollination, different plant but of the same species through agents. Cross-pollination brings genetic variations. Contraception prevents pregnancy. A number of different methods can be followed. Barrier method, it prevents STDs also, like the use of condoms. Chemical methods, pills, they change the hormones. Surgical method, vasectomy in males and tubectomy in females. These are the permanent methods. When a planaria is cut, each piece grows into a complete new planaria. That is called regeneration. Planaria have specialized cells that can divide and form all cell types. Mendel took Purtol, that is capital T, and dwarf, that is small t, pea plants. F1 generation, all tall plants were born with genotype capital T, small t. Tallness is dominant over dwarfness. In F2 generation, 3 tall and 1 dwarf plant was obtained. This shows law of segregation. Alleles separate during gamete formation. Human females have XX sex chromosome, while males have X and Y sex chromosomes. Mother gives X, father gives X, a daughter will be produced, and if father gives Y, then a male offspring will be produced. So in human beings, sex is determined by the chromosomes. Let us move on to physics. Light. Example, object 30 centimeters from a concave mirror. Focal length is 20 centimeter. We have to find out the image distance. U is equal to minus 30 centimeter, F is minus 20 centimeter. Formula is 1 upon V is equal to 1 upon F minus 1 upon U. So 1 upon minus 20 minus 1 upon minus 30 is equal to 1 upon 60. So V is minus 60 centimeter. Minus sign shows that the image formed is real image. It is in front of the mirror. Example, object 60 centimeter from convex lens. F is 30 centimeter. So U is equal to minus 60 centimeter. Since it is a lens, so F is plus 30 centimeter. 1 upon V is equal to 1 upon F plus 1 upon U. Now put the values. That is 1 upon 30 plus 1 upon minus 60. It comes to 1 upon 60. V is plus 60 centimeter. Plus sign shows it is a real image on the opposite side. Remember two rays per object. At infinity, image at F point sized. Beyond C, image between F and C diminished. At C, image at C same size. Between C and F, image beyond C enlarged. At F, image at infinity. Beyond F and P, image behind mirror, virtual and erect. For convex lens, object at infinity, image at F2, point size. Beyond 2F, image between F and 2F diminished. At 2F, image at 2F, same size. Between F and 2F, image beyond 2F enlarged. At F, image at infinity. Between F and O, image on the same side, virtual, erect and magnified. Power is defined as the ability to converge or diverge the light. Convex lens has positive power while concave lens has negative power. Laws of reflection. Two laws are there. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection, and the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence, they all lie in the same plane. Refraction follows Snell's law, and the incident ray, the refracted ray and the normal, they all lie in the same plane. Convex lens is thicker in the middle. It bends the light rays inwards, that is, it converges. Concave lens is thinner in the middle. It bends the parallel beam of light rays outwards. That means it diverges. The human eye, it is our optical instrument. We have to label cornea, the transparent front, iris, it controls the pupil, lens, it focuses the light rays, retina, it has rods and cones, and optic nerves which carries the impulse to the brain. Accommodation means eye lens can change its focal length to see objects at different distances clearly. For nearby objects, ciliary muscles contract. Lens becomes more convex, that is thicker. For distant, the muscles relax and the lens becomes thinner. Myopia. It is the defect of the eye in which the person cannot see the far off objects clearly but can see the nearby objects. Concave lens diverges light before it enters. Hypermetropia. In this defect, person cannot see nearby objects but can see the far off objects. Convex lens converges the light. Another defect of eye is presbyopia. Both near and far vision is affected. In this case, bifocal lenses are used. Sky looks blue. Why? Because blue light scatters the most because of their shorter wavelength. It looks red at the time of sunrise and sunset because light travels through thicker atmosphere, blue is scattered away and red reaches us. Rainbow formation takes place after the rains. In this case, the sunlight undergoes total internal reflection, refraction, and dispersion by the water droplets. The colors of the white light separate out with red on the top and violet at bottom. Ohm's law. It states that at constant temperature, current through conductor is proportional to the potential difference across it. Circuit, ammeter in series, voltmeter in parallel. Practice these types. For series or parallel, find total resistance. For power, use appropriate formula. For finding out heating, take the time in seconds. The commercial unit is kilowatt per hour. In series combination, the same current I flows throughout the circuit. V is equal to V1 plus V2. Formula says V is equal to IR. So V1 is equal to IR1, V2 is IR2, when we add up, Rs becomes R1 plus R2 and so on. It could be any number of resistors. In parallel combination, the same voltage remains. I is equal to VR. So I1 is equal to V upon R1, I2 is V upon R2. So V upon Rp is equal to V upon R1 plus V upon R2. When we take out V common, it becomes 1 upon Rp is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. They are good conductors, they have low resistivity, they are ductile, can be drawn into wire and relatively inexpensive. Fuse is a safety device that protects from overloading or short circuiting. Connected in series, if current exceeds, fuse wire melts and breaks the circuit. Electricity meets magnetism. Use right-hand thumb rule for the straight conductors, Fleming's right-hand rule for induced current. Earthing connects metal case of appliance to the ground. If live wire touches case, current flows to earth, blows fuse and prevents the shock. Our environment, tropic levels, steps in the food chain. First tropic level is the producer level, second tropic level is the primary consumer, and third tropic level is secondary consumer, and so on. Energy flow is unidirectional. At each tropic level, 90% of the energy is lost as heat, etc. Only 10% goes to the next tropic level. It limits the tropic levels to 4 to 5. Ozone layer in the stratosphere absorbs ultraviolet radiations, depleting due to CFCs from refrigerants, aerosols, etc. The consequences of it, more UV rays, it is causing skin cancer, it harms the crops and the phytoplanktons. Biodegradable are those substances which are broken down by microorganisms like food waste, cotton, etc. Non-biodegradable, they cannot be broken down like plastic, glass, etc. Practice 3 R's for non-biodegradable. Landfills, incineration, recycling, composting and sewage treatment. Biological magnification. It is the increase in the concentration of harmful non-biodegradable chemicals at each successive tropic levels. For example, DDT in food chain. It is highest in the top predators. Dear students, we have completed our journey through the most important questions from all chapters of Class 10 Science. I hope this detailed walkthrough has clarified your concepts and boosted your confidence. Remember, constant revision and practice are the key to success. Thank you students for watching Asha Bansal Science Concept Academy. I wish you all the very best for your exams. Study smart, stay healthy and believe in yourself.